How's it going? I'm recording this 4 days after I got done with this road trip. I'm doing that mostly because I wanted to give myself time to come down off the high of exhaust fumes. Not necessarily my own truck's exhaust fumes, but when you have all of the windows down on a vehicle because you don't have AC and you're driving through Moab, you tend to inhale everyone else's exhaust, and that leaves you a little out of it when you're done driving, especially considering, we would stop for gas and stuff, but it was probably 6 hours a day of driving, minimum, maybe less, at least 4. It kind of varied day to day, but we did 1,100 miles in 3 days, so that's an accomplishment, and I'm proud of that. We will talk about the truck, which is outside, but first, grab yourself a cold drink and buckle up. This is going to be fun. So, I do have a clip that I'm going to play right after this one, which is one that I filmed right after I got the truck from the gentleman I bought it from. And I was in the process of replacing some parts, which I believe I mentioned in that clip. And then we'll do a little jump mixed in with the time lapse that I filmed of driving, because vlogging just really wasn't going to happen with all the wind noise. It was like driving through a tunnel with the windows down in a loud car on steroids. It was intense. So I just threw in my AirPods and trucked right through it. But for your sake, I won't subject you to wind noise, and I will just play the time lapse with some good music, and I will jump in at the points where I stopped and either had to replace something, point of interest, whatever it may be, and then we'll do a little time jump to the end, and I will cover how the truck sits now, my plans for the future, and just, a little more information, history on the truck, some cool kind of little, hidden Easter eggs on the truck that I like about it. So yeah, let's get right into it. I decided to take yesterday and part of today and just kind of get little things sorted out. So I did a new switch, so now the dual fuel tanks work. I put in a Bluetooth radio so that I can have my phone audio going through the truck. Did new dash lights so I can actually see the dash, because the night that I drove the truck back there were no dash lights and it was kind of flying blind. I had to kind of guess how much fuel I had and how fast I was going, so that was definitely interesting. Also did a new fuel filter to just kind of help keep crud out of the engine, and just put some, fluids in there to help kind of clean out anything that might be gunked up in the engine out. The truck is in beautiful condition. It's only got 82,000 original miles, which is pretty impressive for a truck of this age. And the body's in great condition. It has a little bit of sun damage and all that stuff, but I personally like that kind of patina on my trucks. And I probably will just have the whole truck clear coated the way it is, and then just upgrade little things. And I got some cool plans for this truck, so I still haven't quite figured out when I'm leaving, but at least we have the truck now, so that's a big step in the right direction. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun trip, so stay tuned. Okay, so at this point, this is when I had to replace the first part on the truck. Well, not the first part while I was on the road. So this truck has what's called dual fuel tanks. It has one on the passenger side, one on the driver's side. One on the driver's side has been consistently used since the truck was purchased. One on the passenger side, excuse me, was not necessarily. The switch in the cab that you would use to select between the two was faulty. I would say it probably hasn't been used in at least 10 years, so decent amount of crud sitting in the bottom. So I replaced the switch, and shockingly all the fuel lines and the pump and the wiring, all of that's good. It was just the switch was faulty, so I can now switch between the tanks. Problem is, there's a ton of crap in the bottom of that tank. So I tried to run off of it. I added a bunch of fuel additives and stuff that are supposed to help with that. But it just kept clogging the fuel filter. So I think to get home, I went through either 3 or 4 fuel filters. I replaced the initial one that was on the truck when I bought it, because that one probably hadn't been done in a year or two, although it was on good gas, so more lifespan was gotten out of it. And then there was the second one, which was the one that I bought, that the first part store I stopped at, the guy gave me the wrong one. It was way too small. I have a picture comparing it to the new one. And so when I tried to run that other tank, it got gummed up almost instantly. And the truck started chugging, and I realized I needed to put a new one in, put the new, much larger, correct part in there, and it was driving like a dream. Halfway through the desert of Utah, near Moab, I had the bright idea to switch to the passenger side tank. And as I'm sure you can probably figure out by now, based on how the fuel filters have been going, that was not the best decision. So where you're seeing now, the video is paused, and it was paused on me opening a hood on the side of a road on a turnoff. Now a little foreshadowing, that's because the fuel filter needed to be replaced. I don't have any footage of me replacing my fuel filter. However, I do have all of the fuel filters I replaced, and I do have pictures from on the road of me replacing them and what they looked like when they came out of the truck, what they looked like on the truck when they were gummed up. It's wild. I ended up driving into actual Moab and buying like 4 more fuel filters because I just wanted to have spares if anything went wrong. Really what I need to do is either drive around town on the bad tank knowing that I'm going to gum up a fuel filter, and as soon as I get home from like the grocery store or whatever, I'm going to throw in a fuel filter in it, or I need to just drain the tank, put new good gas in it, or if the tank's bad, I need to buy a replacement tank and change out the parts. All of that aside, let's do a little time jump and we will look at the fuel filters in the truck, all of the ones that I have, and my thoughts on it, and some of the additives that I used and why I either recommend that someone try them or maybe didn't find them to be so helpful for my specific application. So let's do a little time jump. Okay, let's talk fuel filters. This right here, hopefully you guys can see it pretty well, is the original fuel filter that came on this truck. It's pretty cruddy. I would say it's at least a year old, if not much longer than that. And it was definitely time to replace it. After that fuel filter, I went to this little guy, which is not the right part for this truck. However, it is what I was given at the parts store for this truck. The next parts store I went to, super helpful guy in Utah. Awesome stop over there. He has similar trucks to the one that I just purchased myself, so his information and suggestions were very useful. This is the size that he suggested. At the time, I bought 2 of them from him, one of which I immediately put on the truck, replacing this little one, and the other one, which is now on the truck, replaced this one when I decided to run this tank, and that didn't go so great. Really, I think I need to just siphon everything out of the tank, or at least kind of siphon everything off the bottom. So yeah, progression of this one, then this middle one, and then this one. Those are the fuel filters that have gone through the truck already and have come off. And then right here, I have brand new fuel filters. So they should look nice and light colored and clean like this. You can see that this one that came off the truck is a little bit of a darker color. And that is because it has had rust and other little particulate matter go into the filter, staining it a little bit of a darker color. So that's not ideal. It is what it is. It happens. But I do have plenty more of these fuel filters. They're not that expensive. If you're gonna buy a vehicle and you're gonna hopefully trust it to go, you know, on a decently long road trip, fuel filter doesn't hurt. Heck, even if you're just buying something off Marketplace or whatever, pick up some fuel filters. Like I said, I bought maybe a few more than I needed, but I have yet to regret buying that many fuel filters. And they served me well. And you know, it's an easy enough thing to install. You get a piece of hose like this, and you literally just slip the fuel filter in line on your engine, throw some hose clamps on there so it doesn't spray fuel everywhere. That's not a good time. And you'll be well on your way. So highly suggest doing that. Okay, so let's talk about the truck that's right here behind me. I know it's out of focus because of the way I'm setting the camera up. Let's start to look at the engine, talk that over a little bit. Then we will go kind of around the truck, and then we'll cover the interior. So let's start with the engine bay. So I lighten this up here. Should be able to see that is the fuel filter right there. It is in line, everything. However, brake booster, all in all, it might not look the cleanest if you're not super familiar with engines, but for a truck of this age with a stock engine, this is clean. So that's pretty much everything that's under the hood that's worth seeing. And then I love the patina personally on the hood of this truck. It's kind of a cool splotchy pattern. It is the original hood. That's just how it is. The front end, I'm not gonna pretend like this light isn't perfect, and this one, the trim's a little beat up, so need to order the trim for that. I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. The truck is sitting on 35-inch tires. I believe it's 4 inches higher than stock, although don't quote me on that because watch this truck just be completely stock and I'm crazy. Kind of a cool feature that's hidden back here. Airbags for towing, so you can
inflate them to the capacity you need. So that's kind of cool. Whole undercarriage of the truck is in beautiful condition. The tailgate is the only panel on the truck that I'm aware of that isn't original. Actually, that's not true. This panel is not original, and the driver's side door is also not original. This door replaced a primer gray door. Previous guy who owned it did that. A whole long story. Anyway, only panel aside from the tailgate that isn't original. Although I do question a little bit whether this tailgate is the original and it was just repainted, or whether it's a different tailgate. So that's still up for debate. One of my favorite kind of patina bits on this truck, this palm print. How it got there, I'm not really sure, but there's a handprint actually rusted into the door. So in my opinion, that's kind of a cool little touch. It is a custom Dulux K20, so nothing too crazy there. Not the highest trim model you could get, but still pretty nice. Looking on the inside, no power windows. They are crank. Not a huge deal for me. Obviously, as you can probably see down there, manual. So got your 4-speed manual here, and then down in the floor pan there you have your 4 high, 2 high, and your 4 low. And yeah, the truck's got, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, super low miles. We just hit 83 on this road trip. It was 82 when I bought it. Seat is in beautiful condition. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's super, the fabric's in super nice condition, super soft. Floor pan, do need to go through there and redo that. All of the metal is solid, so it's not rusted out, but one issue I am running into is the floor pan covering and insulation is gone. All right. Okay, she's running. I don't know how well you guys can hear that.
Okay, and finally, to wrap this video up, I'm not going to get super in-depth with it right now because that's for another video. However, I want to give you an idea of what my game plan for this truck is. It's not going to be a show truck, however it may go to some shows. The intent is more for it to be functional and fun. At the end of the day, it's a truck. It's meant for doing truck things. If I can have a little fun on the side, that's awesome. So it's going to be kind of a pre-runner build. The truck is going to be meant for kind of jumping and driving at decent speeds over pretty rough, bumpy terrain. It may have a little bit of crawling capability as well, so we'll see. As far as the rest of the truck goes, I'm going to clear coat it. We'll do fresh trim and everything to kind of freshen up the look of the truck, but the paint will just be clear coated and stay the way it is. Interior is going to get revamped to give it kind of a newer, more modern feel, kind of freshen it up. And yeah, so it's, you know, it's going to be kind of the process of breathing a little life back into a truck that is in great condition, all things considered. And, you know, I'm just going to try and give it my touch to improve it in the ways I think I can. But, you know, I'll make it look pretty on the edges if I can, but it's really at heart built for functionality. So, yeah. It's going to be a fun build process. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed this. If you did, drop a follow, subscribe, you know, drop a like, dislike, comment, you know, whatever. Drop your thoughts. Hopefully I should have more content coming soon. I've got some stuff in the works for this truck, so if all things go as planned, it should be pretty awesome. So, thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day.